Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is the Fight Insight Podcast. I'm your host, Timmy B, joined by my co-host, friend, UFC veteran, Brian Bam Bam Barberina.
Let's go, Timmy B. Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fight Insight Podcast.
Yo, let's go.
All right, our guest today makes her third appearance on the podcast ahead of her fight on March 13th for Combate Global. The promotion seemed in jeopardy, Bam Bam, last year. They lost their TV rights, but they are back. They're going to be streaming on YouTube so we can all watch this girl kick some ass. She is the Queen of the South. She's making her debut on their card when they make the platform switch. I bumbled that up. But look, she's making her Combate Global debut. Combate is making their debut on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, and training out of Great Britain top team, here is the Queen of the South, Kate Bacik.
Yes. What a beautiful intro.
Welcome on.
Nice to see you again.
Kate, good to have you back. I'm so excited for you because you're making your appearance at Combate Global. It is going to be in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, my favorite place I've never been to.
Okay. Now, how worried should we be that the party culture, you may not make it to the fight, you'll just be off partying?
No, don't worry. This is why I'm staying there for like 2 weeks after the fight, so I can do both.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Smart. Business,
Nice.
Then enjoy it.
Yeah, good.
Exactly. It's all about balance in life. That's what they say.
Yeah. Now, I do want to put up the sign here. Here's something. This was you. You posted about this. You got your flyweight belt March 13th, Miami, Florida, Combate Global. Now, this says you are looking for sponsors for the fight. Are you still looking for sponsors now?
No, the deadline is like right now. So, yeah,
All
but
right, good. Are you
you
good?
can still
You're happy?
sponsor me, but I'm not
can't.
gonna wear
We
your
can't
logo.
Little social media shout out, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'll send a message to your kids or whatever you want.
What a deal. What a good deal.
I know.
Hey, look, man, you're such a marketable person. You're such a good person. You're so funny. Like all the stuff that you do online and everything, you're always such a character. How come we don't see you fight more often? Are you fighting as much as you want to, or you're having a hard time finding fights?
I mean, I want to fight like every weekend, really, but circumstances don't always allow that, right? And you kind of got to be smart, and then, injuries get in the way as well. So, I was meant to have one more fight last year, but obviously I had to pull out because of health. And it's unpredictable as well, and like it's not that easy to get fights either. And usually when I get a fight, it's like a big fight as well, so it takes time to get ready for it. And then usually I'll accept the fight. Like right now, like this week, I got like 3 or 4 fight offers, but they're so close to this fight that I just can't say yes, because like I don't know what's gonna happen, right? So I'm like,
Exactly.
I'll chat with you guys after the fight, and then a lot of things can change within a week. They'll already match the fights, or maybe I'll get injured, or maybe I'll be sick, or maybe I'll just decide I wanna drink for 2 weeks in Miami.
Maybe you just wanna enjoy
a lot
Miami.
of things can happen.
Yeah. More likely, you're going to be charged with homicide for killing this girl on March 17th when you beat her
Wait, so murder is illegal in Florida? Fuck.
This is not the underground stuff you're used to, Kate, in the mean streets.
I don't know. Hey, Florida's pretty off the handle sometimes.
Exactly. I feel like I belong there.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay, but because the one time, Bam, when we spoke to her, it was so funny. We were speaking to Kate, and then she fought, and then literally she fought like the week after. Like you get short notice fights.
Shoot.
When you're saying now you're getting offers for a fight that's too close, it's like your fight is next week. So like how short? Like, why are you? So it's all these short notice fights?
I mean, like I don't mind. I actually prefer short notice fights, because then at least like I know what I'm doing tomorrow. But I have no idea what's gonna happen in a week or 2 weeks time. I'm really bad with this. So it's a lot easier to accept the fight. It's like, do you want to fight in like 27 hours? I'll be like, yes, no. It's easy to say, But someone's like, oh, fucking April 13th. Like, I don't know. Am I gonna be alive? Am I gonna be in this dimension still?
It could be anywhere, Bam Bam. That's the thing. That's why booking her for a podcast is very difficult because I have to book it day before.
Day of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many reminders did you have to send?
Double digits, in the double digits. It's a lot. But I always appreciate seeing you, Kate.
She's here, yeah.
Because the thing is, though, is that like a lot of the organizations now, and I'm so glad that Combate is back because first of all, it's a cool organization, but also because they were kind of gone for a while. And the thing is with PFL, Kate, they got all they have is the flyweight division. Like it's not like they have a lot of female divisions, right? So, and then the Bellator card next week on the podcast, we have a girl, Ashley Whiplash Steiner. She's a Muay Thai fighter. She fought a strawweight MMA bout for Bellator. And now they're just done. Like now the PFL doesn't have it. So I'm like, what's happening to you? She's like, well, I'm fighting Muay Thai again. And I'm like, well, shit, come on the podcast next week. So we're going to have her.
That's crazy.
She's crazy like you, Kate. Like, I feel like you too.
Nice. I think like, most fighters are, like you wouldn't be doing this if you were not crazy.
No, there's a different level of crazy that you would be.
I mean, there's just different spectrum of autism, ADHD, but we're all there somewhere. So.
Sure. But I'm glad that you got this fight. Now, do we know who you're fighting? Do we know the opponent? I don't think I've seen it.
I mean, I know who I'm fighting.
Oh. I mean, it's a freaking week away.
I know, but you see, like, I think combatter like to do things their own way. And like I'm not even like bothered anymore because like they just need to figure out the way they want to do it. I'm there to fight. That's the only thing I care about. If they want to announce who I'm fighting 2 weeks after the fight, that's fine by me. Like I don't really care. Like as long as the fight happens, because obviously, like I had a signed contract with them. When was it? Like I think end of 2023. And that fight never happened. And that was kind of like one of those things that was always on my bucket list. And I always wanted to fight for them. And then now it's happening. So hopefully this time I'm 100% going to be there in that cage actually fighting. Yeah. So like all of these formalities of like, announcing the fight and the fight card. I don't even know the fight card. I maybe know like 2 people that are on the same fight card. Accidentally, I found out. But other than that, it's all a mystery. So it's kind of like, it's actually pretty cool, like.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, I think it's called Combate Female. So I think it's an all-female card, which is interesting.
You probably know more than me at this point.
Did you not know that? Yeah. Don't go looking for a boyfriend. There's no male fights on this
I was going to say, like, I see.
What the heck?
How Combate is all women. Like, they're trying to make me gay. And I already tried that. I don't like it.
Yeah, actually, that's right, Bam Bam, because I've been trying to run an MMA dating reality show. And when I asked Kate if she'd be on, she's like, do you want me to date the women or the men? But, okay, so wait. So you know their opponent. Let's say you can't say it right now, but you know your opponent. Do you like the girl? Do you hate her?
Oh, it's never personal. I never met her, so she didn't have a chance to make me hate or like her, that's for sure. Okay. But she's a very good fighter, like someone that I've known of for a few years. Like I've seen her fights because I think when I was meant to fight someone, she was one of the opponents or whatever. But she's pretty well known. I think she's like I think number 1 in the division, or definitely up there. So yeah, like it's definitely a solid opponent, and I respect her skill set. That's what I can say. I don't know her as a person.
Okay, well, can you start talking some trash on her, please?
I don't do that.
I like the mindset though. I like it. Like, hey, as long as I get to go in there and fight, I don't care if they announce it. I don't care if they say, I don't care what they're doing. I just want to get in there and fight. I really like that mindset. Also, like, yeah, you don't know her, some people got to get hyped. Some people got to get hyped up and like, oh, I'm fighting this person. I don't like that person now. I got to say this or whatever. I like how you're like, she seems like a good person. I don't know her. So all I can say is I respect her skills, respect that.
Yeah, she's a good fighter. She's good looking. What else am I supposed to say? But also, like in the fight game, like how it is. Like, how many times you'll have a pullout really close to the fight? You end up fighting completely different person, or anything can change. So being too attached to like the specific person you're fighting or specific game plan doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, look, is it okay? But is it for a belt? This fight?
No, I don't think they have belts. Do they have belts in Combate? I've never seen
Who
title
knows?
fights though.
Kate,
Have you
honestly,
seen any title fights in Combate?
I don't-
no. And to
honestly, I
be
don't think so.
fair, I think this might be the first ever time I watch Combate because
Oh, really?
I don't know. First of all, I don't know how to have watched it before. Like I've seen clips and stuff, but I mean, like I've
Yeah.
never tuned in for an event, like a whole event.
You know what? A lot of people said that it's difficult to even find how they stream, but now apparently it's gonna be on YouTube. So
On YouTube. So look, now we're
Yeah.
all gonna watch Kate Bacik kick some ass on YouTube, which is gonna be very nice. Now I saw on your Instagram you were doing some interview and you were talking about legacy, and you were like, you know, I don't care about. I think you were saying something like, you know, the difference between money or legacy. I want to
Yeah.
ask you. Look, you're starting out your pro career, but you've been doing very well. Like I said, you're very marketable. I really feel like you're gonna like make it super huge in this business. I know that. At the end of the day, what do you want your legacy to be?
I think the legacy will be in the full story. You know, it won't be just
Mhm.
like, okay, the UFC fighter, the UFC champion. It will be literally from like the first step I took on the whole journey, the whole thing. You know, that would be the legacy. Because it's like a lot of people just care about the end, the outcome. You know, the end goal of all of that. But it is like the whole journey, all the struggles, all the shitty little fights that never paid, even like for the fight camp. You know, all of that will be the full legacy. You know, all the injuries, all the bullshits, all the pullouts, all the weight misses, all of that, you know, it will all matter. And it's obviously like at the end, I want to be like, I've been successful with this thing, you know, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. I want to feel accomplished, but I also want to look back and, you know, remember the person I was at every step of that journey and still be proud of that person and still feel like this is my full legacy, every single step I've taken on this journey.
Nice.
I like that.
You're not just a crazy person. That was a very good answer, Kate. Are you happy now? Are you happy now with your life? Are you satisfied where it's going? Like you're in a good
The
spot.
direction, yeah.
Fuck no. Definitely no. Definitely not. Everything's all over the place, and I'm just navigating the chaos, trying to find order in some things. But I don't know. I just find it interesting because it's like, see, I don't know. I'm not that very attached to even being alive. Like it is what it is. If I die tomorrow, I'm like, cool. It's been interesting. See you later. You know what I mean? But like, I like to kind of enjoy my own growth and my evolution, and like I think because I'm really bad with like time management and existing on the same timeline as other people do. So I think like seeing it kind of as a camp by camp, fight to fight timeline, it allows me to kind of see how I've changed as a person, not just as an athlete, but like how I've grown as a person and where I'm heading. And like, you know, every day, every week, every month, you're learning, you're gaining experience, you're becoming a different person. You're taking all of that with you on board. So it's interesting to see that. But I don't know, can you really fully be happy with your life at any point of time? Can you be like, yeah, I'm happy with everything? Can you ever say that?
No, like, look, for me, I'm not. For me, I'm not. I always feel like I know I've asked you before, and I do ask most of my guests, but I've asked it to you before, and I'm not going to waste your time with it this time. But I ask people like on a scale of 1 to 10 how happy they are, and I'm always surprised when everybody's like a 10, a 12, 15, whatever. And for me, I'm like, I don't know. I hover around a 6 or a 7. Like I always feel like there's so much different stuff, or like I'm like always too bothered by other things in the world. So I get you, Kate. Yeah, I agree. It also makes you hungry.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the more you expect from yourself or the more you want from life, the more critical you're gonna be of like your level of happiness as well, because you know there's better. You know you could be doing better.
Yeah. Always improving somewhere in some
For sure
aspect. Do you
That's,
feel like do you feel like
No.
MMA has like, you know, you said it's kind of hard to stay on other people's time compared to your time and kind of find a groove? Do you feel like MMA and your camps and everything have helped you kind of, I don't know, learn to be more scheduled, and it kind of changed as far as like each camp to camp, like you said, every time is a little different? Do you feel like it's helped you in life with your like life skills?
I mean, like my whole life is basically organized around my training, and that's kind of the only structure I have.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very helpful because, like, even in terms of like, I've got massive ADHD. So say if I'm not training, like everything is all over the place. I might wake up at like 2 p.m., go to sleep at 4 a.m. just because like I don't really have reason to like have structure. I'll probably forget to eat for like 20 something hours and have 3 meals within an hour, and forget to eat for another 2 days. But having to train, literally having to train, like I've got structure around it, sort of.
Yeah.
So it helps you navigate that a little bit better for sure. But in terms of like life in general, I think, yeah, it definitely gives better structure, but at the same time, it brings a lot more chaos into your life too. And like, it doesn't allow you to be a part of a society in the same level as other people that are not fighters are, because you won't be able to do a lot of things, or you will be time restricted, and your priority is always going to be different. So you will miss out on a lot of things that other people are doing at the same time collectively.
Yeah. I understand
that is true. Now, the life of a fighter is different. And first of all, I want to shout out, you train a lot with a friend of the podcast out at Great Britain Top Team, Vanessa Campos. I see
Yeah.
you. I see you in her videos. She's very cool, Bam. She's a movie star. She's a fighter. She's an announcer. She's a commentator.
Supermodel.
Yeah. This girl is very cool. Does she beat you up a lot? Are you beating her up a lot? Like, you guys are friends of the
Give and
podcast.
take, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she beats the shit out of me every day to the point that I want to speak. I want to speak to HR, but she's HR, so kind of peak. But it's okay because I found out I can do jumping squats with her on my back, and it made me feel really strong. Because if I can jumping squat another human being, even if they're like less than 50 kilos, that means I'm really strong, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You don't need to say her weight. You just say like, "Hey, it's another human being here." Like,
exactly.
Look, she's very, very cool though, Vanessa Campos. I'm so happy that you guys are together. I also feel like you guys would be good friends because you're both such good spirits. Here's another thing about your fighter life though. Very weird, Bam Bam. I'm obviously like my last co-host, Ringside Rain. She commentates out at Up Next Fighting in California.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden one day there's an event and Rain sends me a photo and it's her with Kate. I'm like, Kate lives in London, England. What the frick were you doing in California? Why were you in California?
Surprise!
Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of reasons to go to California.
Okay.
Like,
drugs.
I was gonna say it's sunny. It's always sunny.
Where's your mind at, Timmy? Where's your mind?
What's drugs?
So, okay. Oh, so you're just there for vacation?
Visiting friends, vacation. I wouldn't say vacation. Like, I just wanted to mix it up with training, get some sun. I like to travel a lot, so whenever there's an opportunity, and like my friend was fighting as well, so it all coincided at the same time.
So where'd you train out there?
Just a few different places. I didn't really get much training in, but there was a few different places.
You just said you were there for training.
Yeah. One of the reasons.
Okay. A very small part of the reason.
Other reasons, the beach, the sun.
The sun is the main reason. And then friends.
Okay. There you go. And I do want to shout out too, because you are friends with very good friend of the podcast, Ray the Slim Reaper Roland. He's a very good kid, man, and I saw that you knew him as well. He's a great dude, man. You watched his fight and he won that night.
Yeah, he did. It was a solid performance.
Yeah, that's a good kid, man. That kid is going to make it far. He's an amateur now still, but look, that kid is going to go far. And I really like him. He's got a very good personality. He's a good kid.
I like his nickname, Slim Reaper.
The Slim Reaper.
Yeah, he's definitely got potential to make it as far as he wants to make it in this game. And as for the nickname, I actually know another guy in London who's got the exact same fun nicknames.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know what's so weird? I've had another guest on the podcast, and his nickname is the Slim Reaper as well. He's a BKFC fighter. Yeah.
Too many Slim Reapers. Where's the fat Reapers?
Yeah.
Should be quality.
Yeah.
Hey,
exactly. If there's a fat Reaper out there, we need him on the podcast. We need to hear about it.
I'm gonna Google it right now. Here's a question that I got from we post that you're coming on, and I don't know why this person asked this, but he says, and I'm like, you want to ask this to Kate Bacik? And he goes, yeah. His question is, do you feel pressure as a Nigerian fighter to represent Nigeria?
I don't know who that is, but
Oh, you
if
know who it is?
anything, I'd be. No,
It-
I have no clue.
Oh.
It could be anyone.
on Instagram, it's man like nabs.
Oh, of course. That's my Nigerian Polish uncle.
Oh, I thought
So
it was some weird.
basically, he believes I'm Nigerian and he identifies as Polish, even though he's Nigerian. So we've got a nice little dynamic here. But
Hmm.
but
All right.
the truth is, I'm actually Jamaican.
Okay.
Really?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Nice.
No, you're not.
I can't wait a minute. Are we being real? What's going on?
No.
Well, to be honest, they say Nigerians are like the Jamaicans of Africa, so it's all kind of, relatively close.
All right. None of this makes any sense, Kate.
You see, it's so confused. You're welcome.
This question
His question didn't make sense either.
I know
Very
that,
true.
but that's why I had to ask it because
Very
it was so
true.
weird. This question is from Big Papa _ MMA. Would you ever move to the US? And if yes, which state and why?
I'd never say never. I probably would. And which state? I haven't really been to that many states. I've been to like maybe 4 states so far. But as I said, like Florida seems like my favorite place I've never been to. So probably Florida.
Well, it's going to be your favorite place when you win this fight in Miami and people
and then
call
party
you.
for 2 weeks after.
Yeah. Like, is Miami in South Florida? I don't know. Bam Bam, you're a US guy. Miami's South
Yeah.
Florida.
You're asking.
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
yeah. See, she would know. Look at that.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is South Florida, yeah.
Yeah. There you
Okay,
go.
so here's
It's
the
like
thing.
at the bottom.
Sure. Your nickname is Queen of the South. You could change it to Queen of the South Florida.
Exactly. They never specified what South.
Yeah.
It all fits. It all fits. This person, and I feel like this person, I won't say his name on here. I feel like he's asked this every time there's a female fighter. Can we set up a fight with you and me?
A fight?
I mean, I charge a lot of money for that service, but yeah, sure.
Dude, this guy, I will text you this guy's nickname after because I
That's
think this guy
fine.
would pay. This guy will pay for that.
Yeah, that's fine. If you can afford it, I'm happy to do that.
Do you get
Daily bread.
Do you get a lot of weird requests?
Do you think MMA pays enough?
No. But I'm asking.
Exactly.
But I'm asking, like, do you get a
Gotta
lot
have
of crazy
different
people
avenues.
asking
Different
weird
avenues.
things?
Oh yeah, I get a lot of weird things. Yeah, 100%. But I'm only interested in answering if there's money involved. Otherwise, why are people wasting my time?
Well, I guarantee you, all these weirdos are going to offer you money. Why? Okay, this question. Why did your last Palace Athena opponent block you?
I don't know. But I don't like when my opponents block me because it's like I want to be friends, man. Like
So you won the fight, but did she block you after or before?
I think definitely after. Definitely after. Yeah.
Any story there?
There's no story. I don't know. Maybe language barrier.
No.
I've been nothing but nice. Like, once we fight, it's like, bro, we're both fighters. We both probably tapped. Like, we're nice to like see what level of crazy we are. Maybe we can be friends. We can train together.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's strange.
She's like, nope, block.
Yeah, like and it's not the first time. Like, a few of my previous opponents blocked me too. And it's like, what are you trying to achieve? I've done nothing. Okay, except for beating you, but that's the sport part. As a person to person, it was never personal. We can be cool.
Yeah. Strange, right? Yeah. Bam Bam, you friends with your opponents?
Some people have that mindset, like where they're like, nah, we can never be friends. Because we fought each other.
It's not that deep though.
Yeah, it's not. It really isn't. I follow quite a few people and have people followed me and follow back or whatever. Quite a few people that I've fought.
Yeah.
No issues.
Strange.
I have no issues with anybody I fight. It's just like, we're there to fight, and then after it's whatever it is, win or lose.
Exactly.
What about though?
Back to our lives.
What about if the fighter is like a dirty fighter? Because we've been seeing on the news a lot with Dustin Poirier keeps commenting about what a dirty fighter Michael Chandler is. I don't know if you've been seeing all that stuff. He talked about like in their last fight, the way he was fish hooking him in the mouth, and Poirier was like, look, if I didn't have my mouth guard in, I would have just bitten his fingers off. He goes like, it was like right in my mouth. Kate, are you fish hooking people? Is that what the problem is? Like,
no, I don't know. Like maybe I like do a butt drag here and there, but
freaking oil check. Dang oil check. Check.
Well,
but like
just to make sure.
But what do you think about the Poirier and Chandler stuff? You think that's cool after the fact? Bam. Like,
go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I did obviously stuff like that. I mean, maybe I wouldn't follow them or whatever on social media or whatever.
But have you ever had a problem with someone like doing a lot of illegal fouls on you during the fight or being dirty?
No, and it's hard like in the fight. I mean, you know, you're kind of just, I guess people do stuff. You're hoping they're not doing it intentionally, really, you know?
Right.
I think it's like sometimes it's desperation. Like I remember cornering my friend Iman. She fought on UAE Warriors in Abu Dhabi, and she was beating this girl bad. And then she literally just had her. I think it was like, I don't even know what it was, some bottom position, and she was just pounding her head, and that girl just bit into her leg so bad. And she bit her like twice. The second time, like my friend just started shouting, be like, "Ref, what the fuck?" You know, like she's literally biting me. And then and she wore leggings in that fight, so you couldn't really see it. But she sent me a photo after the fight of her leg. You could see every single tooth. It was like a purple massive mark, and it's like, you know, that's just desperation. It's like, what do you think you're gonna achieve with it? And he was that in UFC who did the same thing.
There was
he bit someone, and then he lost his contract because of that as well, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And like a lot of fouls. And then, of course, like what was it now? I guess it's 2 weeks ago, Kate, Bam Bam and I were talking about the eye pokes from Song to Henry Cejudo. I want to ask you, you saw that fight? You know what happened there? Like when he got poked in the eye, Cejudo?
Yeah.
Okay. So
is it not the issue with gloves though? Like that must be clearly the gloves because it happens way too much, you know.
But Bam Bam, you fought in the UFC gloves 20 times.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever poked anybody. But here's what I have to say: is in the back, they tell you hands closed or fingers pointed up. They need to just stop saying fingers pointed up. They just need to say keep your hands closed at all times. Like I've been thinking about this more and more. It's just like
that's true. Because why would you do that anyways?
Yeah. They're like, well, I guess if you're gonna reach, you reach up so there's not. If they come forward, you're not gonna poke them. But if you have your fingers up and someone comes running at you, you're gonna go like, oh, trying to like.
Yeah, it's kind of natural reaction, right?
Yeah. So it's like just keep your hands closed.
But it's because you guys are racist. I'm Asian. What if I want to do like a karate chop?
Karate chop. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Has anyone ever thrown a karate chop in UFC?
That is a fair point.
No. Yeah.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
You can make the record for the first and only karate chop in UFC.
You know, someone else is gonna do it. Now someone else is gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny?
Give me a few fights.
Yeah.
Hey, holy shit!
Wait, Combate on freaking YouTube, ja.
Kate, seriously, if you want to go viral here, right? When you're on top and you're beating this girl's ass, all of a sudden you just go, boom, karate chop.
Right between the guards.
Do I have to say karate chop as I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, just to let them know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And like Bam Bam said, you know, when they're blocking like this, the karate chop will go right through the guard.
They'd be caught so off guard. Yep.
That's your knockout blow. The first ever.
It's a legal strike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What you don't have to do this. 100% it's legal.
Slap people.
Okay.
Holy shit, Kate! If you win by karate chop, you better in your post-fight speech, you better go thanks to Timmy B and Bam Bam.
100%. Big shout out then.
God damn, I'm gonna be. I can't wait.
But like
to
you
see
taught
it.
me everything I know.
Kate, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, you're already Nigerian. If you win by karate chop, you will become honorary Chinese as well. So,
I love that.
amazing, Kate. Now, before we let you go, I really appreciate the time, Kate. Honestly, like you are very cool. You're always so friendly to me online ever since I've met you. So thank you so much for being so cool.
I would be friendly in like real, like in person as well, not just online.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, is before I let you go, look, you're going to be fighting again, March 17th. Everybody go watch it. It's going to be on freaking YouTube. There's no excuse not to watch this fight. I hope that they have a live chat because then Bam Bam and I can be chatting while you're fighting and chat with some of the fans as well. Kate, is there anything that you want to say to fans, viewers, and listeners, fans of the Queen of the South?
My fans, don't give up on me, guys. I'm still growing. Be patient.
Why are you saying that? Are people giving up on you?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying because I would.
Jeez.
What? Why would people give up on you?
I don't know. People get bored. But anyways, I'm cooking something here. It's okay. Give me some time.
No,
That's
shit.
But also give me some money.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you can wrestle this dude for money, I guess. But
100.
Kate, look, I'm very excited for you. I think that this is a great thing. I think this is important. Now, last thing I want to ask you, the Combate Global contract, is this like a multi-fight deal or is this just a one-fight thing?
It's just a single fight deal. I'm still signed with Invicta, so my next move is probably going to be that, but we'll see.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, speaking about how she always likes the fighters, Bam, and she's never mean. The last girl that she was going to fight, I was like, go kick this bitch's ass because it's a girl that I'm not too keen on. And then right away, Kate is like, oh, you don't like this girl? What's wrong with her?
Yeah, why are you being mean? What's wrong with you?
Well, I'm also trying to hype up Kate. Like, I'm very supportive of Kate. So I'm like, yeah, fuck, go get this girl, So
yeah, she's like, don't be like that. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, calm down.
If you got solid reasons, then I'll see it through your eyes,
Yeah. Anyways, Kate, all the best to you. Good luck. Make sure go say hello to Vanessa Go say hi to Vanessa Campos for me because she's very cool.
Do.
All your friends, go kick ass. I will see you soon on YouTube. I can't wait, and then we will have you back on the podcast. You got 2 weeks to party hard as the Queen of South Florida.
Yeah, you have to let us know how the party goes.
I love that.
I'm looking forward to hearing
I
the party
might stay there forever.
Yeah. You might just set down the roots.
You'll probably see one of those like article headlines like Florida woman did this. I want to make that appearance as a fake Florida woman.
Yeah, not for nothing, but I feel like your outfit is very Florida. Right? Isn't that
okay? See, perfect match.
You're already set. Kate, thank you so much for joining the podcast. I'll see you soon.
Great talking.
Nice one. Thank you. Take care.
Kick ass.
Take care.
Okay, bye. All right, Bam Bam. That is the Queen of the South, Kate Bacik. Look, man, she's such a cool girl. She's so funny, Bam. The one time we had her on the podcast, she walks out to her fight, and the referee is like, your nails are too long. And they had to cut every single one of her nails, like, while she's there. And I'm like, what the frig? Like, yeah, it was so funny. She has a
great personality.
Great personality. Great personality. She's a kick-ass fighter. She's got a very cool look. She's got a cool style. Like, look, she's got everything there is to become a superstar. So I do hope she makes it as far in life as she wants to. Let me just see. I'm getting messages here, and I apologize. I know I was looking down. Sometimes I find like I'm looking down while the person is talking. Obviously, I can hear them, but sometimes I'm looking at my notes or something. So,
I'm like trying to find where to look into my camera, and then I look up and I realize I was looking down the whole time. So,
yeah. No, we're good.
She was great to talk to, though. It's definitely great to hear her perspective. Like I said, she's real bubbly and fun to talk to.
Yeah. No, she's amazing.
And
yeah. Aside from the fact that it's very hard to book her for a podcast, like she said, because she's a really good thing. But once you lock her in, That's a lie. Once you lock her in, you got to continually lock her in. But then she comes. Let me go for a little bit of a Friends of the Podcast update while we wait for our second guest, who also has been messaging me throughout. So that's why I was kind of like a little bit taking it back. I apologize. Friends of the Podcast update. Obviously, if you want other great audio podcasts, you want to go check out RageWorksPodcastNetwork.com, RageWorks Podcast Network. RageWorksNetwork.com. That's RageWorks Podcast Network. You can check out other great audio clips. Thrilled to be a part of the Sweep the League Network and Refocused Network. They're platforms that are all about showcasing incredible content creators and hosting interviews that inspire. Go check us out there. So thank you to them. Who else did I want to say thank you to? There was a lot of people. Cody Brundage, Bam Bam. Did you see him freaking win in the co-main event? I'm so happy for that dude. I've had him on the podcast before. He's got a great story. He's a good guy. And that was the last fight of his contract.
Wow.
You know how important that friggin' thing is,
very
right,
important
man?
fight. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Very, very important fight. When you take that last fight, you're risking a lot, man. And for him to do that co-main event, it was a big stage for that dude, man. And he makes it count. So congratulations to him. Very happy. Look, guys, go check us out everywhere. Go buy our t-shirt. It's on millions.co. Go get that. But right now, Bam Bam, we are going to introduce our second guest of the podcast. I'm so happy that this dude is here, man. This is very freaking cool. He is an Irish mixed martial artist who competes this weekend at OKTAGON 68, where he looks to become double champ. He vies for the heavyweight championship, undefeated since 2020 and currently riding an 8-fight unbeaten streak. He's a PFL and Bellator veteran and the current reigning and defending OKTAGON MMA light heavyweight champion. Please welcome to the podcast. Here he is, Will Fleury.
Hey, awesome.
How lads?
How you doing?
What's going
good,
on?
man.
Good.
Will, how are you, my friend?
Good. Yeah. It's fight week and I'm eating plenty, so life feels pretty good right now.
I saw you, man. You're eating a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, spud life, man. It's the way to do it. You know? So like it's a funny one. I've kind of made spuds my thing over the last 5 years or so. That I've been putting I went from middleweight to light heavyweight, and I had to eat a hell of a lot to go and do that. So spud life became a big thing in my, I had to just continuously plow in a shitload of potatoes. And now obviously I haven't tried to gain too much weight moving up to heavyweight, but yeah, I haven't had to cut down on my spud life at all. So there's been a lot of spud life going on recently.
Well, there you go, my friend. Look, I'm so excited for you, man. And I'm really glad that you have come to the podcast. Thank you so much. A few weeks ago, we had on fellow Irishman Dennis Frimpong, the Menace, Dennis the Menace Frimpong.
Good, yeah.
He's a friend of the podcast, man. And here's a photo that I found. This is the Irish invasion happening at OKTAGON 68. It is you and Dennis Frimpong. Do you know Dennis Frimpong, and why is he crazy?
I do know him. Yeah, so we fought on the same card in Birmingham. Dennis is do you follow him on social media or?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Yeah.
Well, you saw the whole Paddy Pimblett thing, and I'm sure he talked to you about the whole Paddy Pimblett thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's fairly self-explanatory why the dude's crazy. Look, I actually enjoy him. I think fair play to him. He's going out he's putting it out there as a young lad, and he's going for it. And
yeah, man.
Anyone with the balls to go for it, you have to admire that. But I'm just a bit. Sometimes it's man, you're 2-2. Go and focus on being a really skilled martial artist. Crush being class at this, then talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But do the first part first, Be really good before you start talking all the shit, yeah? Be shit hot and don't let anybody fuck with you. But fair play to him. He's taking tough fights. The guy's going to fight at the weekend's 5-0. I would love if he went in and absolutely smashed the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
So please God, he goes and does that. And I love the attitude. I do, genuinely. I like the fact that he's going and putting himself on the line and he's going and doing things. You have to if you want to go anywhere in life.
Yeah.
But just be that good too.
Yeah. Well, dude, hey, look, all I'm saying, and we won't touch on this too long because this interview is all about you, my friend. But look, he fought Paddy Pimblett with a no time limit, and all I'm saying is it was after the 5-minute mark when he got submitted. So in my books, he survived that whole round.
And even the fact that I kind of like the fact that they actually just went and scrapped.
Yeah.
As much as it's you don't want to promote the fuck out of that shit, and it's not necessarily good for kids to be seen or anything like that. But it's look, they were having a little bit of an online spot. They were talking a bit of shit. Okay, let's go and do this. Cool.
Yeah, they
Fair
handled
play
it.
to you, lads. Well done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, my friend. Look, recently in the news, there was some talk about double champs in the UFC, and they're saying they don't want double champs. We talked about it in our podcast last week. Bam, bam. We were kind of debating it. Will, Octagon MMA, obviously, they are happy with you becoming a double champ. They're giving you this big opportunity. You're the light heavyweight champ. You're going to become the heavyweight champ in just 5 days, 6 days. You're going to have 2 big belts. What's the stance here? Octagon MMA. They're cool with that?
Yeah, of course. So I think the biggest thing is there wasn't a massive challenge for me at light heavyweight. I talked about moving down to middleweight. So they're doing the game changer tournament at middleweight this year. And I was kind of saying, look, there's no obvious challenger at light heavyweight right now. I have to give it a little bit of time for somebody to build themselves up. So in the meantime, why don't I go down and do this game changer tournament and I can win myself some money this year? I didn't know this, but there was a free slot in the tournament. That slot was already filled. Then I tried to take on Makhmud Murdoch, who's 4-1 in the UFC, but he's recently signed with Octagon. And to me, he would have been like the biggest fight I could have made at the time. But 4 days after my last fight with Carlos, once I won the belt, they called me and they were like, look, we have a slot open, heavyweight title fight's there for you. And I just thought, yeah, cool, this is an amazing opportunity to go and win a belt and have, kind of having that 2 division legacy and even the ability to go on and do more special things afterwards. So it's kind of like, this is obviously a huge opportunity, but it's about what it sets up. So like, I know myself, I've done the work to be something a little bit special. On Saturday night, I got the opportunity to go out and show that. And obviously, it means nothing if you don't go out and smash this and win it.
Yeah.
But once I go and do that now, I've put myself in a very good position to go on and do more special things,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like that, yeah, like how much it adds to your legacy. You know what I mean? Like you've been around in the game, you're a very successful fighter, but to be able to claim that you're a double champ for Octagon MMA, that's a huge thing, man. That's a huge step for you. Are you planning
but I really don't want it to end there. Like, look, double champ sounds amazing. But at the same time, it seems to me it's like people see Octagon as this kind of European promotion right now. I see what they're doing. They're really cracking into that German market. They're very mainstream there. Like we're selling like an Irish guy and a Bulgarian guy headlining that card has sold 15,000 tickets already in Germany, in fucking Stuttgart, a city I've never even been to. It's crazy. That's their work. That's incredible work on their behalf.
Right.
But to fill those stadiums constantly, you're going to need some very high level guys. And the German MMA fans seem to be eating this up, man. And as long as you're the product, there's massive opportunities out there. So you go and become a double champ. Now we can get in some really high level fighters. Are you the guy who can go out and smash it and represent your organization within that? I am. And I want to go and prove that. And like, I feel like as long as I clear this hurdle and I go in and show the type of martial artist I am, there's going to be very special things ahead in the future,
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Well, how are you feeling about going up to heavyweight? You said you were talking about possibly going back down to 85, and then they offer you the heavyweight for the title. How does it feel to like, well, okay, I was thinking 85, going down, but now to go up, and get a big opportunity at the title. How are you feeling about that?
It's definitely easier in terms of your lifestyle anyway. So it's been grand. Like the last 6-7 weeks, I'm eating pretty much whatever. Like, obviously it's decent quality food.
Yeah.
But I don't have to watch calories for I'm actually still weighing a lot of food and all that. So just because it's my habit now and I know I'm going to have to cut weight to defend the light heavyweight belt again.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried to get huge. I've put on about 2 kilos, so about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
But on the whole, it's just made life really easy. It's fight week and I feel great. Like, I'm not water loading. I don't have to cut my calories down. I don't have to do all the low carb shit.
Yeah.
Life's grand. And like, I understand, look, man, you're going to fight a really big guy as well. That's why you're not cutting any weight. So on Saturday night, it's like, you've got to be prepared for what you're about to do.
Yeah.
But I spar lots of heavyweights. I've always sparred lots of heavyweight guys throughout my career. So to me, it's like, I have a confidence in the fact that I can go in and beat the crap out of these guys regardless of how big they are.
Yeah.
So just go in and do that, like, and show it and be what you are, like, be what you've worked to be.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely easier for life. Anyway, This week especially, I was just chatting with my coach and he was like, how are you feeling? I was like, man, like to cut weight again after this, it feels much more like you're earning your paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This one, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, they're gonna pay me to go in and fight and do what I love doing anyway. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is sweet. You know?
But it is so funny, right? Because like, now you'll see how it is like mentally, right? Will, like, I mean, this must affect you so differently mentally from a stress wise and stuff like that. Like previously, where you have to worry about your weight and you have to think about your cutting, you do have to count your calories legitimately. How freeing is it for you to be able to do this, right?
It's a bit weird because it feels nearly like a false sense of security. You're like, wait. You are fighting. This
Yeah.
is like all the hard training really is over. So even this week, like I'm eating well and I'm coming in trying to train light. And I kind of want to go a little bit harder because the body just has energy.
Yeah.
And I know to pull myself back at this stage, I'm not like I'm too experienced to fuck it up now. But like there is that little thing of like, I know everything feels really normal, but this is fight week. So don't forget it's fight week. And again, look, it's a really significant fight. It's the chance to become double champ. But right now, it's very just like I'm watching videos of Todd F. I'm drilling my things. I'm doing all the things I should be doing. You're ticking the boxes as a professional, but you're like, feels nearly too easy. And look, the real thing is you're going to get in a fight with a massive guy. That's why you're not cutting any weight. So that guy's going to be bigger. So if he catches a leg kick, you're going to feel it more. There's going to be more weight behind that. Those are the deterrents. It's like what you're not paying for now, there's a price later if you fuck things up.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I feel like I have enough of an awareness of that, but just the way my body feels this week, it's kind of like, wow, this is fight week. It's so easy,
It's good, man. And I hope that the fight is just as easy for you. I'm going to put the photo up here, though. There you are. It is Fleury versus Todev. Again, March 8th. Like you said, it's in Germany. This is OKTAGON MMA, OKTAGON 68. Look, for those of you, because, I'm in Canada, Bam Bam's in the States, OKTAGON MMA is, like you said, it's slowly getting more and more popular, even out here in the West, right? Like it's slowly growing in popularity. We've seen more fighters go over. Obviously, you were in Bellator, you were in PFL, so people know you out here in the West. And if they follow your career, there you are. For those that don't know you, though, or haven't really heard too much about your story, who is Will Fleury?
Oh, stuff. Look, I'm a raw bastard from South Tipperary. So I'm like from country, like I'm from the country in Ireland. Tipperary's close to Cork. So you have Dublin, which is the main city, which is where I live now. That's where this apartment is. I'm in like the suburbs of Dublin. So I train in SPG Ireland, but I'm from the south of Ireland. I'm from like Munster, which is the province, and the county is Tipperary, and the town I live in is called Kerr. So it's a really small little town. It's like 2,000 people. Um, and basically, I've lived here for the last 7, 8 years. I lived in London for about 2 years before that. Just had to move over for work and stuff. I've been training MMA for the last 15 years, basically, and I've been fighting professionally for about the last 7 or 8 years. I was an undefeated amateur, so I went 7-0 as an amateur, which like back in the old Irish amateur scene, things were like pretty serious. It was like hard to get a fight, like, but it was like the fights were a really big deal back then. So I was 7-0 as an amateur, and then I had a couple of kind of like boxing fights, K1 fights, all that sort of thing. And I was undefeated in those for a while, like for a good while. Then I went 4-0 as a pro and I got signed to Bellator. And I had like, kind of a good bit of hype at that stage. And then I got knocked out of my Bellator debut. And that kind of put the shits on everything. So like once I got knocked out, it was like there was very little hype. So Bellator, before I got signed, before they created Bellator Europe and before they started coming to do shows in Dublin. So I got signed in, I think it was like April, May 2018. And it wasn't the Bellator Europe at that stage. And my first fight was in Rome, but like they were kind of planning on like, oh, we're gonna get you. Like they kind of just were like, oh, that's an easy fight, whatever. No, I was fighting a guy who was 6-0 and he had 6 knockouts, and I kind of look. It was completely my own fault. I was very kind of, you know, dismissive of his skill set and underestimated the guy massively, and ended up just like being a bit too complacent and got caught in that fight. And just got caught with a heavy shot and got knocked the fuck out. And that basically made
Happens
everything
to the best of us. Yeah.
Sorry?
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, well, my nose shows the story, but like basically fucking after that, I came back, I had 2 decent wins, but I was never I had a couple of really significant injuries at that stage as well in that period in between after the knockout. Um, so I kind of didn't look like the same fighter, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's just not as good since he lost." And then I lost to a guy, Norbert Noveni, a fellow who I trained with in London Shoot as well. And I'd won a couple of fights in between again, and then I lost to a guy in Germany, and his name's Matt Krzansky. That was during the lockdown in Ireland as well. So at one stage there, and I was 7-3, and it was kind of like Jesus for the skill set I had. I was like, how the fuck did I ended up as a 7-3 fighter? And even myself, I was a little bit like, am I like I'm able to smash everyone in the gym? I'm able to travel around your place and do really well against guys who are in the UFC and really high level fighters. But I didn't seem to be blowing the world away when I was actually in the cage. And I started training with a couple of different coaches and, just adjusted my skill set and started to be a little bit more playful in the way I was training and a bit more, I think, like just looking to build a base of skill rather than being a kind of brute athlete. And like I played rugby before, so my attitude was always like you just go at it as hard as you can, and
Yeah.
you look to smash it, and you get involved, and it's physical, and you get as physical as you can. Whereas this was much more just like, no, just learn the movement, learn the art. You know, that's how you're going to develop as a fighter. And since I've started, like that fight in Germany was the last one I lost, and that was in 2020.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of, it's a funny one because I take it quite seriously, obviously, but I don't feel anywhere near as intensely about, smashing people or being physical. It's literally just like, yeah, just break the guy down, just pick him apart. And like, I think if you watch it, like I won a load of fights by decision, but they were very dominant decisions where I was like dropping the guy. I was kind of like maybe being a bit too playful at times, but like very dominant. And then I had a fight with Chris. So then I got signed with the PFL, which was another big opportunity. And I fought a guy, Anthony Salamone, and I decisioned him, but it was like I think it was 30-25, the decision, like over 3 rounds. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I really smashed it. And a bunch of guys I really, really smashed before that, but they were all decision wins. And then with Chris Jocko, who I fought in the first round of the $1 million tournament, it was a genuinely very close fight. And then after that fight, the two of us got caught for being juiced up. Because I was a middleweight previous to that, and they gave everyone the chat. Like, it was like, you win that fight, you've qualified for the PFL $1 million tournament. We're going to give you an 8-month window to go and gain 10 kilos. So it was kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We all know what's going to go on here.
Yeah.
Well, and they signed like Jocko was a middleweight previously as well, and he tested positive too. And Rob Wilkinson, who was also a middleweight, who was my next fight, also tested positive. So like I was banned then for 9 months after that. And after I came, like they didn't even tell me what the story with the contract was going to be for a long time. So I didn't know whether I was going to get re-signed to the PFL or what was going to happen. And once I think it was about I got banned in like April, it was a 9-month ban. So the ban was up in December, or like from January onwards, the ban was out. And then I think it was once December came, they were just like, no, we're not re-signing you. So it was weird, in a weird, like, that was kind of a relief nearly, to be honest, because I felt like, look, in the free market, I can do pretty well. But I was a bit like, I don't know if I'm going to come back. Um, and I was looking at other things in life at that stage because I was already 34 years old at that point. And then I was like, look, I've been training over the space of the time I've been banned. Even why the fuck wouldn't I just go for this?
Yeah.
And a couple of my coaches were just like, man, you've got such a skill set here. Why the fuck are you not just going for the thing? And then I signed with OKTAGON, and I felt like, wow, this is a huge opportunity. Look, they're going to be doing really big shows around Europe. There's going to be massive potential here. And even the way they were promoting my first fight, it was very obvious that they were pretty interested. So I went over to Ostrava in the Czech Republic, and I did like a face-off with the first guy I was going to fight, and we did like a load of media stuff for it. And then I went over to Las Vegas to train for a couple of weeks. And while I was in Las Vegas, I broke my hand really badly. And I shattered the bone at the end of my thumb, and that was about 18 days before the fight. And it was a bad, bad break. So I had to consider, like, I was kind of like, if I pull out of this, the whole thing's over and I'm done. And I got a couple of, like, I was sending my x-rays back to my doctor in Ireland, and he was like, look, you're going to absolutely destroy your hand if you fight with this. And then there was a doctor in Vegas who was like, I think if you strap it up the right way, ball's not going to move around too
Hell
much.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, honestly, if I hadn't met that guy, and if even like there was another guy back here in Ireland who was telling me like, I think it's pretty possible to go and do that. So I decided to I was like, fuck, what do I have to lose? And I went in, like, I strapped it up and went in and fought with the broken hand. And even I had to like trick the doctor during my medicals to not look at that hand. Myself and my buddy Carl were distracting him and just like messed around. But anyway, ended up fighting, and I won the fight. I came through, like, dropped him and submitted him. And since then, it was kind of like, right, I've got the skill set to go and do this. So I had to go away and get surgery on my hand and let it recover and all that. But it's kind of just been really liberating to be like, yeah, I'm going to get these opportunities, and I know the skill set I have, and I know what I can go and do, and I know that I can smash it. So it's been a long kind of winding road, and like, it's not been all fucking Disneyland stuff, but it's like, ultimately, I feel like I can do a hell of a lot, and I'm very proud of what I've done. Like, some of the stuff I've done, even in like, what am I, undefeated in 8 fights now? Like, I beat Chris Jocko, fair enough, it was a close decision, but like, I would love the opportunity to fight a lot more high level guys. I'd like going into that tournament. I was fucking genuinely very confident that I was going to win $1 million. Now, of course, everyone's going to say that and everyone's going to feel like that. But I feel like the 2 hardest guys to get would have been Jocko and Rob Wilkinson.
Yeah.
I got those 2 guys. And I was like, I had beaten Chris Jocko in a relatively close fight, but he was never whooping my ass. I was just never really whooping his ass too bad either. But I was the one kind of bringing the fight to him a bit more. And then with Wilkinson, I was like, this is actually genuinely going to be an easier fight. And I was a lot more confident going into that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I never got the chance to prove it. And maybe that's some of what the determination to go and do it with this is, that like, I know the work I've done. I know how good I've gotten. I know how good, like, I've been for the last couple of years. And I really owe it to myself to go out there and show that. And to like, I don't feel like I have a whole lot to prove, but I have a lot of like, there's opportunity out there. And I feel like most of my career, I haven't really been able to capitalize on that opportunity. And finally, I'm getting that chance now with Octagon. Like, look, everything's fallen into place beautifully. Like, I fought in the stadium in Frankfurt. I knocked the guy out with a really kind of aesthetic, nice knockout, like it was a face plant one. And then, their big star was Carlos. And I started to call him out as soon as I got on the mic afterwards. So I kind of made it a big thing in the Czech Republic then. And people bought into it over there. And even the Irish fans kind of got involved with that. So it was a really good buzz. Like, that, even the media behind all of that, and like the buzz that it got, and even how emotional the fans were when I was over. Like, it was packed arena in the Czech Republic, like 20,000 people.
Awesome.
And they were crazy. Like, there was really good atmosphere. Now, they all absolutely hated me because I was the guy coming in to smash their guy.
That's fine.
It was like, yeah, it was like, as long as they give a shit, that's the main thing. People were really invested in it. So I was loving it. Like, even like, you can watch the footage, like there's a video of me walking out, and it's like they start booing, and I'm just like cupping my ears and like loving it and putting up, and Anyway, I did well in that fight. I whooped his ass with a decision again, but like, it should have been like, I feel like really it should have been stopped a few times. So that's how I got to this point, I suppose. That's like a long version. And now I'm getting a chance to fight for another belt within Octagon.
Yeah, man. Look, there's a few things I want to hit on. Do you have a few minutes? You're okay? Did we go a little bit?
Yeah, I think, I have about 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, good. One thing I wanted to say though, yes, Octagon doing a really good job, man. Like you said, and Dennis Frimpong, like he's been on the show a couple times, but he told us like, yeah, Octagon is like filling out stadiums, man. They are like making a big name for themselves. And here's the thing, Will, everything always happens for a good reason, right? If you look at where you were, like with PFL/Bellator, there's a lot of people very upset with that organization. Like fighters that are there can't get fights, really confused as to what the hell's going on. There's the people that are going in the tournament now, and we've talked to people, Bam, on this podcast. Some people are like, yeah, if I lose first round, for sure I get a second fight. And other people are like, I don't think so. I think you only get one fight. But it's like, but then you're going to be locked into this contract with no way to earn money. People are very confused. There's a lot of people vocally very upset. So Will, man, for you to be here in Octagon, this is really like one of the greatest opportunities. The other another option is to go to ONE FC, and those people seem pretty pissed off too with that organization. Like, there's a lot of people talking a lot of smack there.
I trained with Ordior about a year ago now.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, I wouldn't be signing with one anytime soon anyway. Let's put it that way.
So it's so funny, and so just in case people don't know, that's Reiner de Ritter, who just made his UFC debut. Yeah, you're right, Will. That guy was being pretty vocal about how upset he was. There's another guy, geez Louise, if I'll remember it. There's a I think he's a Russian guy. Hold on. He was emailing. I was emailing back and forth with this dude, but or with his managers. Hold on. What the hell is this guy's name? Dmitry Menshikov. And it's so funny. He's like a Russian, I think he's like a Russian Muay Thai fighter. And he starts going online, like in news articles, going like, if you can't give me any fights, then just let me go. Like, what the hell? I've been signed with you guys. You guys don't find me a fight. Then all of a sudden he fights on like the next card. And I'm like, that must be so frustrating for fighters that they have to like be vocal to then get something. And it's like, that's not what you want. You just want to be at a place like you with Octagon that is like, hey, we're supportive of our fighters. We're giving you good opportunities.
Yeah.
And dude, you're gonna be double champ in 5 days. You're gonna have 2 golden belts. Where's your belt right now?
Well, it's downstairs. I can.
That's okay. That's okay.
I won't be able. It'll take me a while to go down and get it. Whatever.
What do you do? What do you do? Do you eat dinner with it? Where like is it on a shelf?
No,
like,
it's like I have the punch bob things. They're like orange guys. I have one of them, and like when I'm not using the punch bob, I just put it around his shoulder. And he wears the belt. So,
nice.
I can send you a photo of that.
Hey, I bet he's earned it. He's earned the chance to wear it.
Well, he's taking a lot of shots for that, you know. He's a pretty stoic guy, though. He doesn't say a whole lot, like, but, you know, he wears that belt with pride.
He's tough, huh? Yeah. He's a tough one.
He's serious chin on the guy. He's a bit like your man Carlos. He just doesn't go down, you know.
That's so funny, man.
But no, look, and then, I feel ridiculously lucky to be with Octagon, and like I understand, like it's kind of a bit disheartening that the scene in general is in such a bad place, because I see what's happening with the PFL, and even I had my own few experiences with them before the whole situation, and it wasn't positive. And even look, overall, it kind of felt with Bellator like you were just some token Irish guy, and they never really had any investment in your career. Now, in fairness, they paid really well, and you fought relatively regularly, so you can't complain too much. But it was very much like none of your fights have any hype behind them. Nobody cares. There's no narrative behind anything. And you look at a guy like AJ McKee, or say the likes of Patchy Mix there, who they've been so good for so long, and they've won a lot of hard fights against tough guys. And there's so little genuine hype behind their names. And even like a lot of guys have gone into Bellator and done extremely well and looked like really high level fighters. And they've just not been hyped at all. You know, even like we have 2 young lads here in Ireland, Kieran Clark and Tara Kelly, and they're both undefeated, and both of them have fought the vast majority of their fights in Bellator. I think Kieran has fought all of his fights. He's 10-0. So he's 10-0 within Bellator. And yet there's so little hype behind him. You know, there's so little fanfare about it all now. In his local area, people are really aware of what he's gone and done, and like he's a hero in that part of the world. But you know, even nationally, it hasn't generated that much attention, and internationally, it's generated basically no attention because none of his fights have really had any narrative behind them. They're not really pushing it and buying into it. And in fairness, Octagon do an amazing job of that, where like, you know, they're promoting me as this big wild Irish bastard who's coming over and like calling out all the Czech guys. Now I've done it. I've like talked a fair bit of shit. I've called out their guys. You know, I've made a story a little bit, like even with the Carlos thing. Myself and Carlos trained together in London about 10 years ago, and he fucked up my ankle when we were sparring one day really badly, and like he acted like a complete dick afterwards. That's 100% true, but like I kind of used that to pull him into the fight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they bought into it, and Octagon kind of used that then as well to create a bit of a narrative and get things going. But at least they do it, and then like they put it out there. They got the fans invested in that, you know. And I was calling him a pussy, and they were like, "Oh, is Carlos a pussy or is he a champ?" And it's smart because then people are emotionally invested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Because they're like, "Hey, he's our guy," you know. Because not all the fans there love him, but they're like, "You don't come in and call our guy a pussy," you know.
Yeah.
So like, it got people into it. It's like that's really fucking smart promotionally. And I feel like Octagon as a promoter, they do their job. They really fucking promote the fights. And I fight, and look, part of my job, like it's entertainment, obviously. And I understand that. And I feel like I'm a fucking entertaining enough character regardless. But it's like, at least they give me a platform to be entertaining from.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they show some part of what my character actually is. Whereas with Bellator, you wouldn't fucking know. Or with the PFL, you wouldn't fucking know. It's just Will Fleury, other generic Irish fighter, comes out. Let's go. Okay, Will's in the blue gloves. All right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like there's no opportunity to actually show them who you are or to build a rapport with the fan base or to do anything. You're just going to do a couple of, random interviews before and after the fight and they'll like clip out what they want, but they're not really giving a true sense of you. Whereas one thing OKTAGON genuinely seem to do quite well is exacerbate who you are and like show people like this is what this guy is. He's like this wild Irish fucker,
Yeah.
they'll like kind of exaggerate, well, not even exaggerate, but just like magnify what you are and show that to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get you
Dude,
out
that's
there. Get what you're about.
Dude, that's what it's all
And
about,
smart.
man.
And
Because
like that, look, if you don't know who the guy is, how are you going to be invested in this career?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
How are you gonna know
like,
you want to watch
and,
him? Yeah.
they have to
and
grow.
even like
The organization
sorry.
has to grow themselves, but they do that by growing their fighters, by putting the spotlight on you, Will. You gain followers, you gain fans, you also gain haters. Who cares? You just gain
People know
attention.
what you are.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
And they have a bunch of like they have a guy, Christian Youngworth. He was actually supposed to be on the card in Stuttgart, but like the guy's a pretty average fighter, right? But he's this guy. He was like an ex-soccer player. He busted up his knee. He was supposed to, And I watched a little like video on his background and his career. I shouldn't be invested in this guy's career. It doesn't make any sense, right? But yet, if that guy's going to fight, I'm probably going to watch the fight now because I am like, it's like, oh, Youngworth's fighting. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like his fights aren't amazing. Like he's got a lot of heart. He's going for it. But it's kind of like, you've told me to do its story. Now I'm a little bit like, I give a shit. Let's see if he wins. Like, So like, it's good. It works. And like, even if you go back to the old, like the early days of the UFC when like I was a massive Evan Tanner fan because I like, they sold him as this wild guy, this thing, and it's like, where's that promotion these days? Like, I get it that like people don't want that same hero story again and again and again. But if you like, a lot of the people involved in this sport are wild. The characters are insane. And like, I feel like in the UFC now, you don't get really a good sense of people's character either. So overall, like, unless the guy is doing it themselves, that they're putting themselves out in their own social media and blah, blah, blah. But even within that, it kind of seems a little bit like false. Whereas when somebody else is observing from it, like when the promoter
Outside
comes in and does
perspective.
that, it's a different thing. It's like, because as soon as you start to record yourself, it's like you've edited this to be what you want people to see.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone else is coming in recording you and just showing this is the guy's life, I find that much more interesting. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Well, dude, I agree 100%. Like, and that's what we always say to fighters too, because I do commentary for an organization out on East Coast Canada called Fight League Atlantic. Next event is April 12th. Make sure you're there. FLA 19. But here's the thing, man. We have on some of their amateur fighters and some of their young pros, and the thing that I always say to them as much as possible is like, promote the hell out of yourself, man. Get out there, promote yourself, be visible, make fans like take an interest in you. Because you may get a win, you may get 2 seconds on that mic. Like, you don't know how much time anyone else is going to promote you. So you got to build yourself, man. You don't have to be a fake character. You don't have to be anything like that. You just got to be yourself, but get out there, get in front of those cameras, get on the mic.
I agree with you. But I also like, for a lot of young lads these days, I think they overplay the getting out there. And like, maybe this is just within Ireland now, but
that's because you're around crazy Irish people. We're polite Canadians. They don't even
possibly. And look, I think there's a lot of really high level fighters out there who do themselves a disservice by not saying what they feel. And it's like, man, if you feel this, go out and fucking put that in the mic. Because there's a legit reason, as long as you're working your balls off and trying hard in the gym, how you feel is interesting to the average person. Because you're doing something very, very few people can do. You're a unique character anyway. As long as you're actually chasing this thing, there's something going on in your head that's different to what's going on in the average person's head. Just let it out there, right? Yeah. We in Ireland now have like a lot of lads who are kind of trying to be a bit too like Connor, and a little bit like it just comes across as really insincere. And it's like, no, lads, be you. So like what you were saying, be yourself, right?
Yeah.
But within that, just exemplify like, who do you want to be? Why do you want to be that? Understand all of those things. Ultimately, you're doing martial arts to enjoy your life and to increase like your time in a positive chemistry when you're alive, if you get me, this whole thing, sure, what, like, we're all only here for 70 or 80 years, whatever, and it's like, you just want to enjoy as much of it as possible. Martial arts is part of that whole thing for you, yeah? Grand, good. How do you get enjoyment out of this? Is your enjoyment going to be having 10,000 Instagram followers and being a shit fighter? That's probably not going to be the best life for you really long term. Or is the enjoyment going to be following the journey of being a good martial artist? And then once you've gotten to a level within that, go and promote the shit out of yourself as like, if you want to make a career out of professional martial arts. And to be honest, lads, if any of my kids, like, I don't have kids yet, but like, please God, I will someday. If any of them wanted to do this, I'd be like, lads, no, it's probably not the best decision to be making with your life. It's a really sketchy, hard way to make a living. And like, there's a lot of people who you're going to be subject to the whim of. People can screw you over. We're talking about like the PFL and all these guys. And like, look at how hard the industry is right now. And I don't see it becoming a whole lot easier anytime soon. So like, as a fighter, you've already, like, you know, you're a prostitute. You've basically put yourself in a really weak position. You know, like, you're already like, you got to build yourself, like you were saying, build yourself as much as you can. But at the same time, it is like, is this like, martial arts can be very fulfilling, but is being a professional fighter going to be what fulfills you for the vast majority of people? And even people who are quite good at martial arts. And I'm like, maybe not. So maybe look at not selling your soul to this thing and just actually having a career outside of it, you know? And there's a lot of guys like that who are selling their fucking soul for very little. And I'm like, it's not worth it, lads.
Yeah. Well, look,
it's definitely
man,
not just the Irish that are.
Sorry, that kind of like, that's pointed at about 4 or 5 lads I know who are like 20, 21, and I'm just like, no. So you probably don't need to hear all of that.
No, well, it's not definitely just the like young, like you said, the Irish. There's some people you know or whatever, but it's everywhere, every culture, everything. Now, young fighters think that like, you know, they need to be this huge thing like a Connor or whatever right away. And they're not focusing, you know, they're focused more so on what they're going to say on the mic and how they're going to act rather than focusing on the fight and their skills and moving up in the division or anything like that and improving. They're more focused on like, how can I be an act to, you know, make
What did Chimaev say the first time he got on the mic? What did any, like, you know, what did Pereira say? The guy barely speaks English. Yeah. He's now one of the biggest stars in UFC. You know what I mean?
Fucking Chama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has like a word that he uses, and yet he's a megastar. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, be good at the thing, and people will be fascinated no matter what. But focus on being good at the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Will Fleury, man, dude. I wasn't even sure this interview was going to happen. Huge shout out to Octagon MMA for helping set this up, man. I'm so honored to have you on this podcast, man. Definitely. I want to meet you again. I want to chat with you again. So please don't ignore my messages. We'll chat again. You know what I'm saying? Look, go out there, kick some ass, man. You, Spud Life, everything that you're doing, man. Double champ Will Fleury, man, is going to be in just a few days away, guys. Octagon 68, awesome. Will Fleury for the heavyweight title. Dude, congratulations on all your success, man. You seem like a great guy. We will talk more. I want to know more about you. And where will you put the second belt?
So Bob's kind of one shoulder over, but I was thinking like, I'll send you a picture, Bob, but I'm going to like wrap it maybe kind of up around his neck face. So like one across there, one around here.
Oh yeah.
And he's going to kind of just look like a bling daddy. You know,
he's earned it. He's earned it with all the ass whoopings he's got. Yeah. He's earned it.
Yeah. What a guy. You're a good man for sharing the gold with little old Bob there, Will. So thank you.
Look, you know, he's taken a lot of shots over the years. He deserves something in return.
Yeah.
Thanks, man, lads. Appreciate the time and thanks for coming.
It's great talking with you.
See you, buddy.
Kick some ass.
All right, man. Bam, bam. That is it for the show, man. We went a little bit long, guys. I really appreciate it. Look, both Kate and Will, great freaking people, man.
Oh, yeah. 2 great interviews.
Yeah. Like 2 great people, you know, both out there doing their thing. I did want to ask Will. We went a little bit long, and so I didn't want to talk. But I did want to ask him because we have had leaders talk about how, like, perhaps some of the drug pops were fake. Or exaggerated or whatever. And then when you hear what happened to him, and I'm not saying this when he's gone because he's gone, but just I know he had to go. He said he had 15 minutes. Yeah. But like when he says like, okay, I was popped and then I didn't know what was going to happen. And then finally at the end of it, then they say, okay, you're released. It's like, why wouldn't you just release him during that freaking time so the guy can plan his life out?
Yeah. Why keep
That's
him on
weird.
hold like that? Keep him on the hook. Like, hey, like you know, there might be a fight here.
You wait till the
and just let
suspension
him
is
out.
over
Yeah. That's
to
fucked
then release him?
up. Yeah.
You
At
knew
least
you
let him
weren't.
know so he can start working on talking to people. And
That's what I'm saying, because
yeah.
that's what I'm saying, because it's illegal to talk to people while you're under contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, that said, Bam, next week, like I said, we have Ashley Whiplash Steiner. I believe she's messaging me during this podcast as well, because we might have to change the time. There's also another guest that I'm really looking for. Okay, actually, she's saying perhaps those other days are better anyways, Bam. So we will try to work this out. But look, Ashley Whiplash Steiner. Then my second guest that I want to have on that day, or the first guest on that day, along with Ashley, is to talk about this, Bam. UFC fighters will prepare FBI agents. Have you seen this news?
I have not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is okay. So for
Is that
those,
real?
yeah. So on
That's real.
Yeah. So for those that are only on audio, what I'm doing is I'm putting a picture. You may have heard. I think that guy's name is Kash Patel. He may be the director of the FBI now. He has gone out and said that he wants the FBI agents to be trained by the. He said he wants them to train. He wants them to be trained by the UFC. Now, of course, Bam Bam, the UFC is not a gym. It doesn't.
Maybe he is like. Maybe he's saying it like one of those guys who said like, "I train UFC."
No. Well, yes, but I think what he's saying is, and probably because Dana White is friends with Trump, that they want to make some sort of connection so that FBI agents can train in mixed martial arts. Maybe at the UFC PI, maybe whatever. Right? But the idea is very interesting, dude. And I have a lot to say on that because, before we've heard where certain police forces were saying that they want all their policemen to be blue belts or above in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Very cool conversation to have. But I have a guest that I'm trying to line up who would be perfect for that, Bam Bam, to talk about self-defense. You know what I'm talking about, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Bam Bam, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you to everybody listening. If we have a fat Reaper, then we need to get him on here.
Shit, the Fat Reaper, where are you? I'm going to go on Tapology and search
and type in the name. Yeah.
I don't care how bad that fighter is. That fighter is coming on the podcast. We want to know the Fat Reaper.
Reaper. Yep. 2 great guests today. Great talk with them. Great conversations. Big things coming ahead for both of them. Big fights. Appreciate everybody listening. Timmy B, always a pleasure.
2 guests I want to shout out that I want on this goddamn podcast is fucking Chuck Buffalo. You son of a bitch. Get on this podcast.
Where you at, Chuck Buffalo? Where you at?
He's going to be coming to my goddamn country and probably starting a ruckus. So I want to see where he is. I want to talk to him before he does that, before he ruins my country. And the other guest is President Awesome. Look, I've messaged that guy. Bam Bam. He's calling out for karate combat fighters. And I posted immediately this fucking
Come on. We got to get me on there. I mean, he's calling for some top-notch strikers. Boom. Right here. Let's do it. Let me in the pit. Let me throw on the karate pants, and I'll show you some Bam Bam karate. Let's do it.
Bam Bam Barberina versus Sam Alvey. I'm calling that fight right now. Book it.
Smiling Sam, let's do it.
President Awesome, you don't even have to give me that much money for just booking that fight. I'll take a cut. But that's a fight, man. Bam Bam Barberina versus Sam Alvey. Incredible. All right, Bam Bam. We are out of here, man. Thank you so much, guys. I'll put up a couple of podcasts here that you can click on if you're on YouTube. Aside from that, Bam Bam, we are out of here. See you later, my friend.
Bye.